Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport here for the Amateur League. The AMs, yes, they are back, and it is a short grid tonight. Two drivers missing, no Danlick, no Dean Wasocki, and PM Motorsport is in as a filler as he is not participating in GT3s this season, but it's going to be a good grid nonetheless. It should be a good, interesting fight with that mid-pack, especially Future Revenge. Looks like he's got some early pace out there in the middle pack. Seem to be could be in for a good little battle there. Half a second separates Baraba to John Andrews, so it could be fascinating to watch. But I am Mathew Duffin, once again joined in the commentary box by special guest tonight. It was supposed to be me and Fury, but tonight we have got the OG crew back together. Dan Davis is with me in the box. Dan, good evening. Great to have you back. Hopefully you're well. And it's first, can I just say as well, it's great to be back commentating with you, because I do miss commentating alongside you.
Oh, mate, we're the best duo since Murray and Brundle, I think. Obviously yourself, Murray, myself, Brundle, you know, the driver, the just great showman. But, yeah, I mean, it's nice to be back in the coach box. You will hear me, obviously, on a Thursday night once again, as I bring you the great action of the pro category, the fastest of the fast, here at SimPlay Motorsport. But, no, we're starting off small. We're starting off a little bit shorter grid tonight, and we've got the AM category first. And, what a fascinating track, especially it was great fun last night in the GT4s.
Yeah, let's talk about the GT4s. Because it was a fantastic start to the night. We saw the cars was fantastic. We saw that they was brilliant fun. They looked good fun as well. Just talk us through, because obviously you was in the driver's seat. It looked like they was such fun and so many good battles with Pro-Am drivers as well as pro drivers.
Well, that's the thing with these cars. Obviously, a lot of the GT3 cars, especially the ones we're watching at the minute, you take example as the McLaren or the Ferrari, especially. They rely so much on downforce, so the air is basically pushing them to the ground and keeping them stuck to the surface. Obviously, the GT4s don't have that advantage. They don't have the big wings. They don't have that kind of raw downforce to keep them on track. So the GT4s rely on the mechanical grip and just the general control of the driver. So that's what makes them interesting. And yes, we saw the BMW and the Ginetta look very dominant last night, but I don't think it's going to be like that all season. I genuinely think every car has an opportunity of winning. So that's what's great about them. The great setup, great layout, and just great scrap here, there, and there, other than race 2, because that was... but other than that, yeah, they're great fun.
It was great fun, and it was great fun to watch and commentate on as well. And if you are in the chat tonight, please, let's hear your voice, because we have a feeling over this 45-minute race there could be a few questions coming your way. And if you want to ask any questions to myself or to Dan, my partner in crime, do not hesitate to ask, because we will answer any question we can, for you guys out there, especially across the evening, across the season. We're back there with Am, and first of all, let's do our usual run through. Obviously, the champion tech leader last year, he's been moved up. He's gone elsewhere. We'll talk about that later in the week. But Baraba is back in his Bentley to challenge for a second season. What can he do? A good chance of race wins. Future Revenge, new livery, but same Bentley for him this season as well. Another guy who was consistent last year. Can he challenge, and can he make that step up to be where he should be, maybe on the top step of the podium? John Andrews returns, as the camera's going to pan around and find him in a McLaren this season. An interesting car choice for John Andrews, but a choice that I think he will enjoy this year. We saw him in the Porsche last year and saw him getting caught out in a few incidents here and there. I think this season he has a good shout at being a driver one to watch, especially we saw good GT4 pace last week from him in the fun race at Brands Hatch. We saw decent GT4 pace from him last night as well. OCMR2, or O as we called him, is back in his Ferrari, and he's back for a second stab at this one. Again, a chance for him to get podiums. All these drivers yet without a podium to their name. Apart from this man, PM Motorsport, not racing the GT3s this year. He's down as a reserve for Am and Pro-Am due to his pace. He's not obviously a front-running runaway pace in amateur. This is why he's a reserve for Am and Pro-Am. But he is a driver that on his day, and we've seen on his day a few times, especially in Formula 1 at times, he is capable of podiums and race wins. One of our admins at the league. Two new drivers though. We saw Pokemark out at Brands Hatch in the GT4 fun event. And a guy that was a little off the pace in a few races started to come good by the end of the night. A chance for him in his Ferrari to do something special. And Tebby AR in his Audi, well, what can he do? The Audi and the Bentley have been, and the Ferrari actually have been, the most popular car choice, I believe. There'll be 7 Audis, 7 Ferraris, and I believe 7 Bentleys throughout the season, as Tebby having a bit of a spin. And our new driver who's just come back in, we can see him now, another new driver to the league, Mar Albuquerque. And Mike guaranteed me that's how you say that one. So Albuquerque is how you pronounce it, Dan. Brazilian driver, what can he do tonight in a tricky Nissan?
Yeah, that's a bold choice. The last person who drove that was Emo guy in this category as well, and he definitely made it work from time to time. But known as the Godzilla for its size, it's a handful, put it that way. But nonetheless, it's a very beautiful car, and obviously the car that Paul Walker was very fond of as well.
Yeah.
Obviously the R34 was what he was fond of, but then this is obviously the next generation up. It's a good car to look at, and it's got very big power, but she's very twitchy.
She is very twitchy. Want to turn to PM Motorsport. Obviously, he's come down from Pro-Am. We know personal reasons, looking after nephew and niece, I believe it is the reason he can't take part in GT3s this season, or can't commit to a full season. Not really he's not really a front runner in Pro-Am. Has pace, as we see at the minute, 1.5 seconds off Future Revenge. But a chance tonight, maybe get his first race win, a first pole position, and add to his 4 podiums he's got, predominantly on F1 and F2.
Yeah, possibly so. I mean, he has got a pole position in F2.
Oh, he has. Apologies, yeah.
He has got a pole position in F2. I remember it very well. It was, I think, the biggest shock of everyone's career in F2, because all of us completely messed up Suzuka, and he was the only one who managed to stay on track. So, and he did it outright as well. So it's not like we all sandbagged, and I think he genuinely took pole position, while the rest of us were too busy tripping over one another. So he can do it, and I think in AM he can show what he can really do. He's in the Bentley. I'm not sure which generation Bentley that one is, but
I believe is that the same one actually? Yeah, that's a good point. The front end looks different, or is that just because of the sponsor on the grille? I think it's the sponsor on the grille.
The rear diffuser threw me off a little bit, but either way, whatever Bentley it is, it's definitely a strong choice. But we'll see what PN can do. It's a bit of extra fun for him, really. A bit more track time around here at Kyalami. So we'll see if he can produce the goods.
And one thing I want to mention, obviously, you'll possibly get into details with it with PM Motorsport over Thursday. I'll mention it with Nexus tomorrow night as well. Car choices this year, Dan. We saw McLaren run away with the manufacturers last season in terms of it was the most picked car. It was so dominant. But I just want to point your attention to this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 McLarens this year. There is then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bentleys. 8 Ferraris, only the 2 Lexuses, there's 2 Porsches, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Hondas, 8 Audis, 1 Aston Martin, 1 BMW, 1 Nissan, 1 Lamborghini and 1 Jaguar. So 8 Audis, 8 Ferraris, 7 Hondas, 7 McLaren, 7 Bentleys. A good, although there's 7 of each and 8 of each, and there's only 1 or 2 of the other manufacturers, we've got a manufacturer's battle this year. We've got we're not going to have McLaren run away with it. We're not going to have Audi run away with it like we saw McLaren do last year, have we? We've got a good spread between 4 or 5 manufacturers and because they spread over the different categories, it's going to make this manufacturers' championship a lot more interesting this season.
Oh, for sure, definitely. Obviously, with the introduction of Ripper last season, you can see why the Audi is suddenly a very popular car. Everyone sees that the pro champion can race it. So if that's the best car to be in, surely that's the correct car to be in. Obviously, the Bentley with yourself and Benno as well, I think was another one who showed very good pace in the Bentley. It's an all-round safe and stable car, so a lot of people find safety in the Bentley. So that's another reason why a lot of people like to run that car. But I think what was the other one? The Ferrari and the McLaren. The McLaren's always been an all-round good car, no matter where we go. The Honda, obviously Louis Allen, champion in Pro-Am. So again, another reason why. So the Ferrari the Ferrari, Audi, and Honda is not really a surprise because obviously there's been champions in each category, in each car. So you're bound to get people to follow what the champions do. I'm surprised that Ripper has stayed Audi. He has been testing one other car that would have been interesting to see how he got on with it.
He's actually tested two, hasn't he, Stu? He tested Porsche as well as Honda was another option that he was testing earlier in the off-season.
I would have been interested to see what he'd do in the Porsche.
Yeah.
The Porsche is a very good car if you can dial it out right, and I think he's the man out of anyone who could possibly do that. But either way, it's a nice variety, and I can't say much really. I'm one of the few that has followed the way of a champion. I've gone Audi myself, but I've got a soft spot for the Volkswagen group anyway, so you would have seen me either in an Audi or a Lamborghini or a Porsche.
Not your first venture into the Audi as well, obviously. We go back to Project Cars 2, the last season of Project Cars 2 we did. You ran the Audi there yourself.
Yep, second in the championship, I believe, in the Audi. Lost out to Overtaker. So, I mean, like I said, I've got a fond spot for the Volkswagen group, so it was either going to be one of those cars or something completely weird and random. So, I think it's not a bad choice, the Audi. It's definitely an all-rounder. It's a bit twitchy here and there, but again, it depends on the driving style. Like I said, every season, myself and Matt are two different drivers.
Yeah.
We have two different driving styles, and I suit the Audi better, while Matt suits the Bentley better. And he's obviously talking about another car for next season. I possibly would look at a different car again next season. It's always nice to try and expand and try different things. It's always good to express your knowledge and learn more and more as the seasons go on.
And which is why I think as well, when we look at Saturday, obviously the SimPlay Racing team, me and yourself, did an 8-hour endurance event at Indianapolis. I think which is interesting, because we both do drive different, and we both like different characteristics in cars, how we then can just jump in the M4 and be at one with it and sort of thing, and be similar on lap times and similar on pace. It's very interesting.
The M4 is a very different car, though. The M4, again, is one of those cars that you can dial out to be incredibly stable and doesn't shift, or you can dial it out to be loose and sketchy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it is... I would say the M4, obviously we don't have it here at PS4,
yeah.
But in the future maybe we could possibly have it on PS5. We will see, because it is going to be probably a popular choice.
So, as we come to the end of practice, drivers will be on their final laps now. Let's talk about the PS5 version then, and obviously Christmas coming up, a lot of chance for people to get, Black Friday as well coming up, for chance for people to get PS5s and stuff on sale. For those who don't have them yet, if we was to move to the PS5 version, we know for a fact there's 5 or 6 new cars on there that's not on the PS4 version. So you've got the Audi Evo 2, you've got the Ferrari 296, the Porsche 992, you've got the Lambo Evo 2, the McLaren Evo, and the BMW M4. Do you think we'll see these older cars like the Bentley, like the Nissan being used, or are we going to see sort of when we go to PS5? We see on PC when we race a lot, and obviously me and Joe for SimPlay Racing race on a Friday night as well. We see a lot of drivers using the newer models. Are we going to see these older cars still race on the PS5 version when we eventually go to it?
I think the unsure drivers who've come from one, who are still new to the game and got comfortable using a certain car, may still use the older cars just to feel safe and comfortable, at least for the first season.
Yeah.
But you obviously got like myself and Fury, yourself, who obviously we either play on PS4 or PS5. Either PC or PS5.
Yeah.
So we already have that kind of knowledge of cars that are available. So yeah, I would say we would still see some of the old cars, but I don't think we would see all of them.
So I think it's like we go back to last season. We saw yourself in the Retia. You're not going to see the Retia and the Jaguar on the PS5 version really be used, are you? I think that kind of blocks out them and blocks out the Aston Martin V12 as a car option, because as we know from PS5 leagues ourselves, look at the one we did on Saturday. There was still Mercedes-Benz on the grid. We did Monza earlier in the year. There was a Honda that won at Monza earlier in the year in that endurance race. There's still Aston Martins on the grid. But it kind of rules out, your Aston V12s, your Retias, your Jaguars, you're not really going to see them, are you?
No, not really. And I think obviously due to the fact that obviously PS5 and PC still gets updated and constantly maintained all the time, while PS4, this is it. This is what we start with. So it is going to be. They're still balancing cars. Like I know for a fact that when the new 3 cars were introduced onto ACC, the Ferrari was a bit OP. It was a bit ridiculous. Now it's been balanced out a little bit, and the Lamborghini Evo 2 seems to be the best car at the minute. So it's always being updated, and I think that's one of the things about PS5 and PC. That's going to be the things to keep an eye on. And I think, like I said, we will see the likes of the old Porsche disappear. The Bentley might still linger around, as will the Mercedes, but I think Audi as well might struggle to keep the
just because of the Evo 2. Yeah,
exactly. So
shame to lose some cars, and hopefully it'd be a shame to lose some manufacturers off the grid. But one thing is for sure, that when the PS5 version does come, let me tell you, there's some interesting cars and some interesting tracks. We have the American DLC, don't we, on there, which gives us Watkins Glen in Indianapolis and COTA, and we've got then Valencia. And like you say, because it's constantly being updated and it's constantly being given the recognition of being up to date, it is possibly going to have new tracks in the future. I know that the Nordschleife was one they're on about bringing next year to Assetto Corsa Competizione, which, it's a real GT event, isn't it? The 24 hours of Nordschleife. So it's, get that one on there, and all of a sudden, it's looking interesting. We're into qualifying now, and Pokemon is going to start his qualifying lap. He's not out to catch them all today. He's out to beat them all. And that's going to be what he wants to do in this first qualifying session. We saw last year in the AM category that there was one qualifying. This is one of the big changes to the format for qualifying this year in amateur. There will no longer be the reverse grid for AM. It will always be it should be 15-minute qualifying. I was having server issues before, so apologies on that one. It should be a 15-minute qualifying every week. It gives the AM drivers a chance to do these one-shot qualifyings. It gives not one-shot qualifyings. It gives them the chance of doing their qualifyings, getting their stats, getting that chance to show their one-lap pace. And it could be interesting to see. Dan, you was obviously in the AM last year in the Retia with the reverse grid. Did you miss the fact that there was no qualifying to give you a chance to run at low fuel?
Hell no. not in the Retia. I mean, in any other car possibly, but in the Retia, it's actually the only thing that kept me going. To be honest, it's one of those things. I do think for the drivers now it's better, because in AM we're just assessing and figuring out where these guys stand here at SimPlay Motorsport. It is. I personally think that these boys should be up in Pro-Am anyway and giving it a go in there. But either way, we try and. We get too many drivers, and we want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to race and drive. That's why we also offer the side packages like GT4, Porsche Super Cup, anything else like that, so people can still race and get involved, no matter if it is from GT4s to GT3s. It doesn't matter. There's still stuff available here. But I do think that these boys will have a better chance with a qualifying session. We can see their one-lap pace, see what they can truly do. I think as well it gives us as admins an opportunity to see John Andrews. I believe you might have been seeing that.
Yeah.
He just clobbered the curb that which the Camaro.
Not taking it like you and Bryn last night, he didn't there?
I think me and Bryn by the end of the night was seeing who could be over the curb the most.
If anybody watches the British touring cars and have watched Not Kill, when they come up the chicane and they're right onto two wheels, that's how Brennan, if you didn't watch last night, that's how Brennan Dan was attacking the Cheetah last night. All four wheels over it, landed on two, keep the speed, don't lift off, carry the speed. And it was absolutely brilliant to watch. As Mark Albuquerque here then coming out towards the final corner, Brazilian, and that is the Brot Esports team in the chat cheering him on in there as well. So the Brot Esports team, I believe that stands for Brazilian something or other Esports. As he goes P3 at the moment. 3 drivers have set a lap time. Pokemon though, Dan, well, he's the one who's setting that pace 0.2 of a second clear out front at the moment.
Trying to catch them all. He's setting the pace at the minute. He wants to be the very best. I was going to try and carry on doing some smart comments.
This may go on all season now.
I'll tell you what, though, if I was going to choose anyone to be on pole position, it'd be him right now. So He's definitely got my catch for this race. I'm just trying to think of more.
Well, he's improved. He's gone 4 tenths quicker, so if he's listening, well, I hope he is, because he's gone 4 tenths quicker and improved his time. Oh, he's coming to the line. I tell you what, you know, it's like winning a gym battle badge. This is, you've got to get your 10 badges before entering the Pokemon League, and he'll want to get promotion. But O, though, takes the pole position away from him, a 10.5. O goes pole. And what can Pokemon do from here? PN will then be the next one to set a lap time as he comes across the line. Oh, 12 thousandths of a second off the back. John Andrews will now set a lap time. He comes to the line and he goes 57 thousandths of a second off. Well, there's only 8 cars on the grid, but the top 4 are separated by a 10.5. This could be the best race you'll see all season, because the others could just be absolute carnage.
They could be, or they could be dull and boring, or they could be wonderful and glorious. You just don't know here at SimPlay Motorsport. Anything can happen.
Talk us through what you're feeling tomorrow night. You're obviously making the jump up to Pro-Am, 6-time champion.
Jump up.
Well, you was in Am last year, so you've gone up, haven't you? The step up to Pro-Am. You're in the Audi, but there's a few guys in that division that look pretty nifty at the moment and look like they could cause you a few problems, especially that one lap pace.
Well, you know, for a fact, Matt, I've never been one that's been great for qualifying. Don't get me wrong, I do work on it quite a lot. I haven't quite got the ripper and overtaker pace, but I think I can nail a good lap every now and then. It takes me longer than most people.
Yeah.
But, no, there's definitely some very good drivers already. I've seen the testing. Daz Automatics looking very, very strong in his Audi as well. Ginger Bush was in the Porsche, I think, with me and Am, and he showed great pace as well, even in Am. Just missing out on, obviously, the promotion zone where Tech Leader and Jay and Ben Bath all have gone up into Pro, so it shows how much pace they had. Obviously, we got to talk about my teammate Kelly, KLF, aka my father, father and son, father and son duo. Obviously, Dad will be very competitive as usual in the McLaren, but there's obviously got the likes of Keeks in there. When Keeks puts his head together, he is probably easily
one of the quickest guys.
Easily as quick as the pro boys when he wants to be. Just a few others. I can't. Sekulovic, I think, is another one.
Daz Sekulovic. You got the likes of Dennis, who we saw last night, and then you've got the old wily veterans of Monkey Boy and Sooty Apex, who on their day can also cause a few upsets.
I mean, after last night's performance with Sooty, I'm not too worried about him. Especially the conversations we were having as Ben Bath goes and puts it 1.2 ahead of O. So. He's got some pace underneath him. But, it's going to be an interesting Pro-Am for sure. Make sure you tune in because it could get really, really messy. There's some great drivers in there and definitely a challenge that I've never done since I've been at SimPlay Motorsport. I've never been in the Pro-Am category. I mean, I remember when I very first started back in the Project Cars days. Matt messaged me. I was racing on another league and said, you fancy racing on a Thursday night? I was a little bit bored and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Turned up to Spa. And next thing you know, I've been told I've been put straight to the pro category.
Turned up to Spa, got wiped out by D-Biggs, who you'd later go on to win 3 Constructors Champs with.
Yep. 3 Constructors Champs and 3 Drivers Championships together. The only 3 I've had in GT3, so...
Which is a fascinating one. Good evening to PM Motorsport in the chat. DJ Phil, Sooty Apex Kiss is also in the chat. Good evening to you. Daz Automatic, he's one that'll be looking forward to getting out there tomorrow. The Ripper, Brot Esports, Hypertech is in there as well. As is Nexus, who says, let's go down, Audi gang. Too bad I'm now with the Jag. Obviously, ran the Audi for the first 2 seasons. Your Retia last year was the interesting choice. He's gone Jag in Pro.
That is bold.
Yeah, very.
But I think that's going to be a question that you'll need to ask Ben tomorrow, as he's should be in the commentary box with you tomorrow. It is a bold choice. It is an interesting choice at that. Keeks drove it for a couple of races in Pro-Am, I believe it was.
Yeah, did 1 race, yeah.
Yeah, so, and he got rid of that pretty quickly. It's a bold choice, that Jag. Very, very bold.
We forgot to mention DJ Phil, a competitor to you tomorrow night. As he says, I totally agree with you there, Dan. I'm definitely looking forward to racing with you on track tomorrow. Good evening to Ant as well, who makes a step up to Pro-Am. tomorrow night. Obviously, we'll go through the drivers, teams, and cars of tomorrow night when we are live 8 p.m. BST. Me and Benedict Varga, aka Nexus, in the chat at the moment. Excuse me. We'll be live with all the action. Good evening to Tech Leader, our current AM champion. Obviously, can't defend his title. And Dan and PM Motorsport will be live Thursday night, 8 p.m. with all their picks as well. Qualifying's come to an end. Oh, crosses the line, does not improve on his lap time. We've got John Andrews coming now. Baraba has absolutely smashed his lap time here, 44.5. Good pace from Baraba, 1.6 clear, so it looks like OP and John Andrews Pokemon all pretty close together. Albuquerque's and Tebby are within a second of O as well, so I suppose it's pretty close between the second, seventh. Future Revenge didn't qualify in both races last night, hasn't qualified tonight. John Andrews to the line, P4 for him. In this qualifying session that is done, we have our one and one only 45-minute race coming up now. And this could be an interesting one. Dan, tip for the race winner.
Oh, you always got to look at the man who's starting on pole, aren't you? They're always favoured to win, but not all the time do they win the race. I am going to go for Ben Bath on this one, I'm afraid. It's just the pace that he's shown in qualifying.
Ben Bath?
He looks like the man. Ben Bath. Baraba, that's the one. I'm so used to racing these boys in AM, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I am in AM. But Baraba, that's the one.
Baraba. So, who will get Bentley's first race? Who will get Bentley's first race win? Who will get the first race win of the season? Will it be a Bentley, a Ferrari, a McLaren, a Nissan, or an Audi? That is the biggest question we have to ask today. It's going to be a fantastic way to go.
Come on, Audi.
Yeah, come on, Bentley.
No, Audi. Actually, no, saying that, I was about to say it's the only Volkswagen car in there, but Bentley's pretty much
Bentley's pretty much part of the Volkswagen group, yeah, as well. One thing to note as well, the only guy with a podium to his name is PN Motorsport. So all these guys never finished on the podium. A real chance to obviously stake their claim. Well, go on.
Technically, John Andrews did in our little fun event.
Oh, in our little fun event, yeah, to be fair, yeah, he did in our little fun event. That's true. That is true. But chance for the others to do something on this grid tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is the big show. You know, at SimPlay Motorsport, this is where it starts off, and you work your way up the order to get yourself into Pro-Am, and then eventually into Pro.
Eventually into Pro, where you get to race the likes of me, Overtaker, and others, because you won't race Ripper, he's too far up the road.
Ripper's not in Pro. Ripper's in Legendary.
Ripper's in Ultimate Supersonic Legend. What's the league on Rocket League? Supersonic Mega Legend.
Champ.
No, Champ. No, we've been in. No, there's more above Champ.
All-Star?
He's in his own league. That's where he is. The Jag convinced me that at the very moment when I beat my best time with the Audi at the Hungaro ring. There we go. Micro J's, good evening to you. He's in the chat. Go on, PN. Micro J's, I think he ought to download the PS4 version and get on this. We see him in the chat a lot. Now he races a bit of GT Sport. I wonder what he'd be like on ACC. Hey? Just sort of poking the fire there, Jay, a little bit. You know, 9 races after this, plenty more to go. Obviously, let's speak of the calendar while they're on the formation lap. We know that we're at Kyalami this week. We know that next week we go to Monza. We then go to Imola for race 3 of the season. Hungary is race 4. Midway point of the season, Donington Park, the famous SimPlay Straight. We go to one of your favourite tracks, down Bathurst for week 6. Week 7's back at Laguna Seca. Week 8, we're at Suzuka. Penultimate race of the season's at the Nürburgring. And then we end the season for 2 seasons out of 3 at Misano.
Finally, can I race Misano? That's the question. It's definitely a calendar that I can enjoy, definitely. I already love the sound. There's only a couple in there that I don't like the idea of. Yeah, it's definitely a fun season for sure. We got the ultimate circuit of all time, the one that really tests you, which is Mount Panorama, Bathurst. I'm not feeling overly confident in this version. On Project Cars, not a problem.
Yeah.
But
Sooty Apex might want to beat you there. Let's put it that way.
He's more than welcome to. I don't feel confident on ACC.
Die Lost Connection. Guten Abend from Germany. Welcome.
Guten Tag.
You know where I've picked that up from, don't you?
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Not Germany, Switzerland.
No, Switzerland. But hey, either way, I at least know what he's trying to say. Dan, ready for tomorrow? I wonder. I think that's Dennis Newman. I know Dennis Newman's German. Dan, ready for tomorrow?
No.
There's your answer, Dennis. If it is Dennis. Kiss, Nexus. Tomorrow I'll push you too. Oh, is Kiss thinking about entering GT3s? If so, Nexus is in Pro, and that's Thursday night. But there is a spot in Pro. There's 2 spots in Pro-Am.
I think Kiss should go in Pro-Am. If he does enter, I think he goes in Pro-Am, especially
I think so.
After the performance of GT4s last night. You know,
similar pace to Dennis in the GT4s. I know they're different cars, but you know.
Similar pace to me as well.
Yeah. Could be interesting. Right. I'll be going with PM for the win, says DJ Phil. Thank you, it is. Yes, it is Dennis Newman. This could be an interesting race. This could be an interesting start to the race as well.
Could get messy.
8 cars on the grid then. They come around the final corner, and for the first time tonight, for the first time in the GT3 season, the race start is initialised, and we are green and go for the start of the GT3 season here at Kyalami. It's the AM class, and it's O, who looks like he's got a good run over Baraba down towards turn 1. The Bentley now starts to get to its top speed, and Baraba looking up the inside of O. That is PM Motorsport sat in the middle of the road at the moment. Looks like he's got up into P3. Carnage in the background though. John Andrews and Tebby have made contact. They've both gone off. Future Revenge and Albuquerque have both gone through, and they'll have to spin themselves around, but it is O who takes the lead from Baraba. PM sitting in third. John Andrews is no longer fourth. It's Pokemark. Then it is Albuquerque. Future Revenge. Then I believe it is John Andrews. No, it's Tebby. Then John Andrews, who's already at the back of the pack at the coming up to the first sector. Already at the back of the pack. But PM Motorsport did the job he needed to there. Just defended the middle of the road. Nobody really attacked him, and the carnage happened behind.
Yeah, definitely so. He's got it all under control now, and O is leading it the way. Baraba has obviously lost out due to the start of that race, but the Ferrari leads away from the Bentley, with PM just sitting in P3 at the minute, with Pokemon doing a very good start as well. He's up into P4 with Albuquerque in P5 in the Godzilla Nissan GTR. We'll see how he gets on.
We'll see how he gets on indeed. It's currently O from Baraba. That gap a second here at the minute. Baraba, though, has pulled a couple of tenths out over PM Motorsport, who's also gapped Pokemon, but it's Future Revenge putting the pressure on to Albuquerque at the minute. Top 5 for Albuquerque so far, and it's Future Revenge who's looking to hunt him down. Future Revenge, Dan, got the benefit of running the Ginetta last night, so he's got a few laps under his belt for this track already. Knows the track well. Albuquerque, though, he's not going to be an easy one to pass in this Nissan. Car's pretty much the same size as Future Revenge gets really close into the final corner.
I mean, the car is probably as big as the track, you know, it's such a giant thing, probably the biggest car here. The Bentley is quite large itself, but you can see the Bentley trying to get the toe off the back of the GTR. That's the handy thing about the GTR. It'll punch a lovely hole in the air, and you could be able to get a decent slipstream from it, but so far he's able to keep ahead of Future Revenge, as Pokemon was a bit wide in turn 1, but Albuquerque's made a bit of a mistake. He ran wide, that gave Future Revenge a little think then about getting up the inside, but nothing yet.
Yeah, Pokemon's attack missed there, and he couldn't get the chance to close down onto PM Motorsport a little bit more as they head into the long sweeping right-hander. It's a tricky corner. You've got to hurry up and wait, as Kelly likes to say, kind of corner to get the power back down. Future Revenge looks to the left, now looks to the right. Can't get the move done. Pien's also gaining onto the back of Baraba here as currently pulling away out front a little bit then. And it is now Albuquerque really having to defend hard here from Future Revenge, coming through the S's down the hill, back up. Future Revenge gets a run through the little right-hand king towards the hairpin. He backs out of that one, and we saw this a few times last season with Future Revenge. He just seems to back out to moves that he doesn't feel he's going to 100% make, even if it is on. So he's going to sit and wait once again. PM Motorsport must have made a mistake somewhere, because he's gone from being right up the back of Baraba to losing out 1.1 seconds worth at this moment in the race, but it is all about Future Revenge and Albuquerque in this current battle.
I think Future Revenge, obviously last season we had quite a few incidences, and I think he's just being a bit cautious, making sure he doesn't get involved in any incidences or silly trip-ups, so he loses penalty points and time, because every point that you have this season will count, no matter what category you're in, whether it's GT4s. Oh, he had a moment there.
Yeah, he did. Had a big moment there. So we'll drop back to PN a second. He's got back within a second of Baraba. And this is interesting to see because at the minute it's PN Motorsport who's doing what he needs to do in terms of trying to hunt down Baraba. Baraba, by the way, as well, running the same livery as last year, gaining on that of O, who had his fair share of incidents and, got caught out pit exit line a few times. But at the minute, leading a very, very nice race. John Andrews at the back of the pack, gaining as quick as he can on the back of Tebby here. Really trying to close the gap onto Tebby. He's down to 1.3 seconds. Pit window open around the 30.
Baraba's gone off.
What's happened?
He's just touched the grass on the entry of the left-hander, and as he's done so, the rear end could not handle it. He had a snap, and then the front end started to understeer into the gravel. So he's now lost out to PN Motorsport, who's now in P2.
So PN running P2, then he's going to be chasing down. Baraba hops over the curb as well as John Andrews now on the back of Tebby for 7th and 8th. Both have a little wiggle through the same corner. Baraba had a moment. And a chance for John Andrews now to really put some pressure on to these drivers here. What has happened to Tebby? Actually, sorry, I looked away for a second there and he's gone off. He's had a big moment off and he's stationary in the gravel trap down after the S's. So hopefully we'll get that one going. PN, catch that one. Hung it sideways through the cheetah. That's not the fastest way through there, but he's kept it going. And we have lost Tebby from the server. So if he doesn't get himself back in, that will be a qualifying ban already for next week after week 1. That is not what you want to do.
No, definitely not. And you don't want to start the season off with a disadvantage in a qualifying session, especially when there's going to be no reverse grids or nothing. So he's going to have to get himself back in. He did look like he was struggling with internet-wise, but yeah, he's not in here at the minute.
No, he'll have to rejoin and get back out on track as soon as possible if he wants to score points. Obviously, that'll be no points for him in this race. Future Revenge once again back on the rear of Albuquerque then and is pretty close to him already. So already looking good for Albuquerque in this one, for Future Revenge in this one. But the problem is he just cannot seem to find a way past Albuquerque, who's not really having to defend heavy at the moment, Dan, because Future Revenge just doesn't seem to go for these manoeuvres at the minute.
No, he doesn't. I think Future Revenge, like I said, he's just being too cautious. He just needs to stick a nose up there. Meanwhile, I'm keeping an eye on the fight between Baraba and PN Motorsport, and Baraba's right on the rear wing again. Baraba
right on the rear wing as Future Revenge is now pulling out and has a little look at the right-hand kick. It's coming up towards the hairpin. Breaks late, lunges up the inside. Manages to get it stopped as Albuquerque did close the door on him there and cannot get the move done, but Future Revenge looking. Let's drop back to PN and Baraba then. As PN Motorsport, you see there is Baraba getting close, and PN looks like he's actually closing that gap a little bit to O out front.
Yeah, it's coming down slowly, not massively, as Future Revenge looks to send it on Albuquerque once again, but can't quite get the run. Again, he's there or thereabouts. These two are close in pace. He just needs to be a bit braver, trust the brakes.
They do need to trust the brakes, and then Bentley have decent brakes on the cars as well, so he can get up the inside. Not sure what the Nissan's like, but I know for a fact that Bentley seems decent on the brakes. PN now is right on the back of O, and he's took Baraba with him. So Pokemon looks like he's going to try and chase these down. And this could be an interesting fight out front.
Just keep an eye on the fight between Future Revenge and Albuquerque, and at the minute, Future Revenge just gets on the rear wing of the Nissan once again, but can't do much about it. But the top three are really going for it now. This is going to be an interesting fight to the end. This is going to be an interesting fight to the end. Just drop back to Future Revenge, not close enough to make a move at the minute, as PN's indicating left. Is he indicating left to say he's going up the inside? I don't know if he's just caught a button, because I actually have his stream up to the right-hand side of me on my laptop, and I can't see that he's loaded the screen to catch it, so I wonder if he's just caught a button to say that he's indicating left. Yeah, I know he used to set his indicator up when he was being lapped to tell the back markers he was coming out the way, but
Yeah, it's an interesting one. He's indicated left. He's looking up the left of O. Can't get it done. He has, though, because O's gone deep out the hairpin. And now O's trying to defend from Baraba, but PM Motorsport, indicators are not. He's turned him off now. He leads the race.
PM Motorsport leads the race here. SimPlay Motorsport. Back to when he was in F2 and he was on pole position. So PM Motorsport now leads the way. He's in the stable Bentley. He's got a little bit wide. He's managed to get it back on track and he's ahead of O at the minute, but he can't make too many mistakes or else he'll be under some pressure. Future Revenge once again just sitting on the back of Albuquerque but can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's the thing at the moment, is he doesn't know how to do it and he doesn't know what to do at this moment in time. Baraba, though, is now going to hassle the back of O, as O's going to try and get back on the rear end of PM Motorsport. Got Pokemon not a million miles away. He could close down on this gap at the moment. And it's the top three who look like they're going to have a good battle.
I think Albuquerque and Future Revenge are looking like they're having a great fight as well.
Yeah, they are. They've been on the back of each other for so long now. It's been fantastic to see from the pair of them. Future Revenge just seems to make a little mistake every now and then. He seems to have a look and then make a little mistake every now and again that's allowing Albuquerque to just be let off the hook a little bit.
I think as well, with these two still scrapping the way they are, John Andrews is slowly but surely creeping onto the back of them.
Pokemon as well here in this race. He's gained 0.5 of a second since from crossing the line to sector 1 timing screen, just because the front three are all having a little squabble at the moment. It is O who is sat in the middle of this squabble. He's got Baraba a second behind him and he's only 0.7 off of the back of PM Motorsport, but Baraba's having a look at the right-hand kink. Baraba's got the move done before the right-hand kink, and Baraba has put himself in P2, but O keeps a nose in there, and O's going to fight back. Baraba all over the exit curb. O's going to try and fire this one back. It could be a Bentley 1-2 already here. O tucks in the behind the Bentley, and it is PM from Baraba, but Bentley 1-2 with Ferrari 3 and 4 at the minute. Baraba, though, touches the gravel, and O's going to have another look back up the inside. Can't get it done. And O just making a few too many mistakes now that he's let both Bentleys get past a bit easy. It's down towards P5. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, just Baraba was having a big moment through the cheer. That's allowed O to get back onto the rear wing of him. Sorry, I was in mid-yawn, just you cut over to myself.
Future Revenge was attacking Albuquerque there at the same time, Dan. Apologies. And Future Revenge, again, just not able to get past at the moment.
Yeah, I think... What I think Future Revenge is hoping for is Albuquerque to make a mistake so he's able to capitalise on that. But at the minute, Albuquerque's just doing enough to stay in front. O's just sitting onto the back of the Baraba. Can Baraba now catch PM Motorsport as Future Revenge looks to the inside of turn 1 and thought better of it and bailed out of it just in time.
You don't necessarily have to hit the apex at turn 1 because you do get that quick little turn 2 kink come up. So it doesn't always compromise you. Future Vento just cannot find a way through. So your running order after 12 minutes races: PM Motorsport, Baraba, O, Pokemon, Albuquerque, Future Revenge, and then John Andrews, who looks like he's got a bit of damage to that car. But O trying to fight back here. He now obviously had a good lead out front early, now needs to fight back.
He does indeed. Future Revenge is looking to the outside of Albuquerque, but he can't quite get the job done as Albuquerque will defend that corner, and Future Revenge still not able to find a way through. He's stuck behind that Nissan, and I think he's in a minute going to be able to do a drawing of that Nissan.
May he regret not qualifying here as he comes up to the right-hand kink, just cannot get alongside the Nissan at the moment. Will he regret not qualifying here, Dan? Because at the moment he looks like he's got good pace to pull away. He just doesn't have the confidence to go up the inside and pass him.
Well, you've always got to stick a lap time in qualifying, no matter what. I mean, it's definitely probably a confidence thing more than anything, but you got to give it a go every now and then. But I think, yeah, he's going to be regretting it now because he could be way out in front of Albuquerque and possibly attacking Pokemon right now.
Possibly indeed. The pit window does open them for the first time tonight. PM, Baraba and O have all gone past it. Pokemon doesn't. Does Future Revenge think of an undercut on Albuquerque? No, he does not. John Andrews is P7. Tebby has also just come back into the lobby, so good to see these back. I wonder if it was internet problems that was causing him some issues. John Andrews, first man into the pits.
Probably got damage from that contact earlier on tonight, and I think it's just get the pain out the way, done and dusted, and try and make up for the time that you've lost. But either way, it's going to be a long end of the race for him. And once again, Future Events still can't seem to find a way through.
Yeah, you can't find a way through, and Baraba's got that gap down to 0.8 of a second to PM Motorsport. Back to Future Revenge Albuquerque battle. One thing we did forget to mention here tonight, that if McLaren took pole position, which it didn't, it would have been its 50th. Audi did start the race, so it needs 4 race starts! It needs 4 race starts for 500, which it will get tomorrow night. And Future Revenge and Albuquerque there, just a little door banging. Future Revenge lets him have the place. But already, a bit of door banging now from Future Revenge. Is this frustration showing, Dan?
It's got to be. He's starting to be sitting there thinking, I need to clear this car. I can be quicker and faster than it. And right now, he's looking at the back of that list and thinking, I'm much faster than you. Let me go through. But at the minute, he's not doing very well on that, as he had a look at a very awkward position as well. I think maybe Albuquerque just got in the wrong place for him and just put him off a little bit. But either way, he's still hassling the back of that Nissan as John Andrews has completed his pit stop and he's back out on track.
He is indeed. Tebby now comes into the pits. Pokemon carries on, and it's going to be down to whether Albuquerque or Future Revenge pull the trigger. They don't. Surprised nobody went for the undercut there. John Andrews now just ahead of PM Motorsport and Baraba fight that's happening as PN's actually gone a little deep, and you know what? Baraba follows him through. So John Andrews done. Tebby can come out after his 2-minute wait time. He'll have to pit. He's that many laps down there that I don't think it's going to matter. He will get points though for finishing the race. That's the main thing. For John Andrews, blue flags he has to respect, but he's going to have to try and pull away from PN and Baraba at the moment. Them two obviously having to pit, but PN's not going to want to lose any time.
No, he's not. He's going to want to try and gain as much time as possible and even possibly put John Andrews and the rest of the field between him and the rest of the cars so he is able to extend that gap.
He is indeed. And it's going to be an interesting one to watch. His Future Revenge, like you say, it is going to be able to paint us a pretty picture behind this Nissan by the end of tonight. It's going to be a fantastic one to try and see what he can do to get past him. O has done his pit stop, so out he comes. And fell foul to a few pit lane infringement lines. Obviously, you can touch the line now, but you're not allowed to cross the white line from pit exit to the race track. That is the new rule. You can now touch the line, and you can go over. You obviously can't go over by all 4 wheels, but you can at least have 2 wheels over the line that's not onto the racetrack here. Although Future End must have made a mistake this lap, Dan, because he's lost out massive amounts of time to Albuquerque, and Baraba, who was within 2/10 of PN, no longer is, as them two stay out once again.
He's just too close to the back of him, and he's now starting to get the point where he can't find his braking zones, he can't find his locations, so he's having to change
Tyres
his
possibly
position.
getting a bit warm as well.
Possibly so, yeah. 45-minute race. I mean, obviously it's very different. He's going for the undercut. He has clearly got more pace than Albuquerque, so we'll see what happens here. But I think this is a smart move for a Future Revenge. This is what he needed to do.
And Plavas literally just said in the chat, I think Future had to pit soon as the pit window opened to get the clear air. Well, he hasn't pitted as soon as it opened, but he has now going to get it. Well, he is now going to get clear air because O should jump in by a mile. And he should come out just ahead of John Andrews. Terby is also back out on track. Will he come into the pit straight away? No, he goes to do one more lap, but he's back out on track. PM Baraba closest fight on track. Pokemon currently running P3. 15 minutes left of the pit window here. And where is O? Was running P3 before the pit stops. He's just gone through the crocodiles. Future Revenge is stationary in his pit box. You know what? Now, I was going to say this is close, but Future Revenge has got to be moving now for it to be close, and it's not really. O into the final corner. He will get back ahead of Future Revenge. As down the start straight he comes now, so he's P3. And the thing for O here, Dan, as well, after he lost them 2 places to Baraba and PM Motorsport, is he's now got clear air for him to pump in some good laps and nail his laps before PN and Baraba pit.
Yeah, indeed. He needs to use that clean air to his advantage. No dirty air from other cars, like I was saying earlier on. These cars are so sensitive to the downforce levels of the wind coming from the back of the cars. So being stuck in dirty air really doesn't do your tyres great, and it doesn't do the car any justice either. Also, overheating of engines. I actually found the Camaro last night, obviously completely different category. Camaro last night was actually overheated his engine, and I was on a yellow engine damage towards
Oh,
the end of it.
you were saying that the Retia did that as well last season. As Baraba, sorry Dan, pulls out, has a look on PN, down towards turn 1. Here comes Baraba, which Bentley brakes the latest. Baraba looks up the inside. They're both on and off their brakes. I think they're both a bit tentative as to who's doing what. Baraba, though, is now through, but PN still got a nose here. We saw last night you can't chop the nose off at that corner, and I think now Baraba has the job done. He's gone a little too much on the curb, but PN can't capitalise on that. Good move, Baraba.
John Andrews is in the pits once again, so he must have had another major moment. Yeah, he's got major damage to the front end of that McLaren, so something has happened to him.
PN's on the outside of the long right-hander. Baraba's got all up the curb, and it's unsettled his Bentley. PN now into the left-hander of the clubhouse. Can he get it done? No, he doesn't. Baraba drifts a little wide, and it's all back to normal position. So eight cars on the grid. I thought this was going to be as dull as dishwater, but you know what? There's been a couple of good, interesting moments in this race.
Oh, definitely so. This is AM. It's never boring in AM. Even I knew that, and I've had multiple seasons here at SimPlay Motorsport, and I think it was the most entertaining races I've ever had.
It's nothing to lose, I think, is what they have to say, isn't it? Nothing to lose here, so why not just go for it? Especially PN, who's only in as a reserve driver, you know, chance to get his first race win ever, as is Baraba. So, you know, why not absolutely try everything you can at the moment? Pokemon currently running in P3 has got Albuquerque. Now, Albuquerque's got no pressure. Albuquerque's brought that gap down from 7 to 3 seconds to Pokemon, 4.3 now. So, interesting one. Because he's got no pressure, he's got a chance now where he can start to catch the car in front.
PN has come into the pit, so let's see what PN will do with that. John Andrews is coming back out, though. He's been in there quite a while.
Yeah.
And he has to be careful of that pit exit line. Oh, he's touched it, so he can get away with that. But he was very close to crossing it.
And it's good to see John Andrews out on the track. We heard the other week that he was very unwell. It's great to see John Andrews back and out on the circuit.
It is indeed. To be honest, Albuquerque, a bit of cleaner, I think you might have mentioned it already, is actually catching Pokemon. So, Pokemon not really setting the times alight here, but he might be under some pressure from Albuquerque behind him in the Nissan. And while these two busy racing each other, Future Revenge all on his own with clear air, might be able to jump the pair of them. Well,
he's only 10 seconds off the back of O now, and O was running P3 before the pit stop, so Future Event showing that he's got some good clean pace. PN leaving the pit lane now as O is coming into the final corner. The bonus for PN is his pit box is at the very end.
O has just had a massive tank slapper there. The handy thing that PN will be loving right now, which he didn't have last night, is the fact that the GT4s, we don't have tyre blankets.
Yes.
So we have no tyre temperature, no pressures, nothing. I think, obviously, the majority of the race cars in ACC like a pressure set to about 27.5 to 28 PSI is the kind of estimate that people want their tyre pressures to sit at. Well, we were coming out with cold tyres. I know the Camaro was sitting at 21 PSI, so 6 PSI below what it needed to be. So he'll be loving the fact that he's got nice fresh tyres. They're pretty much after a couple corners are near enough up to temperature. As I say that, he has a wiggle. Yeah, I think the only thing that Baraba had to do now was react to PN's pit stop.
Well, Baraba has reacted to his pit stop. Baraba is straight into the pit lane. Albuquerque and Pokemon stay out. So Pokemon, well, he's the pokey leader at the moment because he's the one who's out front. PN and O, 4 seconds between them two, but PN down towards the Crocodiles. He comes now. Baraba is trying to overcut PN. PN's obviously gone for that undercut. Fell behind Baraba that lap, and now he's going for the clear air. Who's it gonna work for? Yellow flag was waving there. Not sure why for PN. As John Andrews, he's got even bigger damage now.
Oh, poor John Andrews.
And Tebby has just unlapped himself, 1 lap from him. So for Tebby here, this could be a chance to get onto the back of John Andrews. Right, Baraba is now moving, but PN's at the final corner, as is O. PN's halfway down the straight. Where is Baraba? He's off the limiter now, halfway through the race. PN Motorsport comes flying through. O is already up to racing speed as well. Where is Baraba? He's there. Can O just get Baraba done? Does that Ferrari have enough pace to get past him? Was it up to speed enough in time? And the answer is yes. So O, with the early pit stop, Doesn't get close enough to PM Motorsport, but Baraba just didn't give it enough time. Should have maybe given it a couple more laps in clear air, Dan. And he's now lost out to PN and to O.
He has indeed, but that was the benefit of hot tyres and hot brakes, being able to attack turn 1, and Baraba goes losing from the lead down to P3 now, technically, as they've still got the top 2 to come in, but Baraba already pressurising the back of the Ferrari. I've known a Bentley to be stuck up my backside for such a long time after they've come straight out of the pits, because the Bentley's a very all-round good base car. It's easy to drive when the tyres are low, no pressure, nothing. It's a very good all-round car when it's cold. As soon as all the other cars get their pressures and heat up, then the Bentley starts to suffer a little bit. But on the first lap, I think the Bentley's so good at pressurising cars. And as you can see, Baraba's already got his tyres and pressures up to temperature, and he's already pressurising the back of the Ferrari.
And the bonus is he won't have to worry about hitting about these two pitting at the same time and causing rear-end damage to the car in front, because they've already done the pit stop. Pokemon did lead. He's now in the pits. Albuquerque is now in the lead of this race. So Pokemon,
I think Future Revenge might get caught. Might catch Pokemon here.
I was just about to say the same thing. Oh, he's had a spin of the cheetah. He's gone right around. Now then, where is Future Revenge? He comes through the cheetah. There he's out. And Future Revenge is going to go up the inside. No, he's not. The camera didn't pan out as much as I thought it was going to do. So he's right on the back of O. Pokemon dropped and is now away. The problem is, O and Future Revenge are through, so Pokemon's strategy hasn't worked, so that bodes well, possibly, for Albuquerque, but for Future Revenge, he's now all of a sudden looking at a podium, Dan.
He is indeed. Obviously, Pokemon was probably about, 4.5 seconds ahead down the road of Future Revenge, and Future Revenge now is on the rear wing of O, so I think Future Revenge is looking very good. If O has overheated and burnt those tyres out and flat spotted them, I think Future Revenge could really hustle the back of O right now.
Yes, I agree. I possibly so. The other thing though is, where will Albuquerque feed out into this one?
Albuquerque was struggling with pace. I think it might be where Pokemark is, I think. He was just struggling for pace overall, so I think he might just be ahead or fighting Pokemon. I think Future Revenge has actually put the work in.
The undercut's work for him then.
Yeah.
Get the clear air, get the undercut. Well, he's now got to try and pass O. We saw he struggled to get past Albuquerque. He's got to capitalise on O. Pokemon is 9 seconds behind this pair, and John Andrews trying to put him under some pressure. John Andrews trying to unlap himself here. For Albuquerque, he goes once again on another lap. 6 minutes 40 left of the pit window. 19 minutes left of the race. I suppose whenever he's out there, if he's lapping quicker than PM Motorsport, why not?
Why not, indeed. Just stay out there and clean air, clean air, clean air, clean air.
Yeah, Tabby in for his pit stop as well.
He's now had a moment.
Oh, really? So now he's got O on the back of him with Future Revenge. So is he going to be Bentley 1, 2, 3? Is Future Revenge really staring down at a podium here? This could be a massive opportunity, but also with these guys tripping up each other and now squabbling, does this play into Albuquerque's hands a little bit while these are battling?
Possibly so, but I still think that Albuquerque is just off the pace of these guys. He's just a little bit off the pace. But they keep making silly errors. They're putting themselves in this situation. Yeah. So I think that, I think Albuquerque would love to be able to go and give these guys a hard time, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
We'll have to wait to see. Tebby's pit stop has come and gone. He's done it. And Baraba now looks like he's trying to get back up to speed. Was his pressure right? I wonder. From his pit stop, as he messed his pressure, because I know when the Bentley is over-pressured, it is an absolute dog. PM Motorsport currently, we believe, net leader in this race. Albuquerque goes once more to do some... to start lap 15. Tech leader saying, great racing, chaps. It really has been a great racing night at the moment. So it is Albuquerque who leads this race. He's done a 48.2. And PN's last lap time was a 46.2. And I'm only knowing that because of PN's delta. And it looks like PN's going to lap at another 46.2. So Albuquerque 2 seconds on the last lap, slower a lap. I think you're right, Dan. I think he just doesn't have the pace.
I don't think he does, but he's obviously using this clean air as an opportunity to stay out of trouble. I did this the other night in the GT4s. Once you get a bit of clean air and you're on your own, you can just focus on your lines. You're not too busy trying to chase or, you know, trying to catch a car that's just like in reach, but you're matching them, so you end up pushing too hard and making too many mistakes. He's obviously got no dirty air, he's got no clean air, he can just focus on pumping in the lap times bit by bit as PN is extending his lead. 13.5 was the gap to Baraba, and I think PN at the minute, he's just got to keep it on the black stuff, and he looks like he could be on a way to get his first race win.
He does, as well as looks like he's putting more pressure onto the back of Baraba than what Future Revenge is applying to the back of him at the moment. And PN teamed with DJ Phil last year, teamed with Daz the year before. He's teamed with Jamie Brazier on 3 occasions on Formula 1. He's always there for the racing. He's obviously independent last night in the GT4s, commentator and admin here at SimPlay Motorsport. And I tell you what, we know he suffers with his back and things a lot, but he deserves a bit of good fortune at times.
He does indeed, and I think he'll go away tonight in bed thinking, you know what, I deserve that one.
Massive confidence boost for him as well, won't it? It'll be a massive confidence boost.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just being on a podium, I feel is a massive confidence boost. It's you know, it's no matter what happens in any form of sport, no matter if it's even racing or from yourself, when you used to play cricket, I used to do BMX racing, even just like I remember when I did BMX racing as a kid. Obviously, it wasn't as simple as go out and play a game and you win. It was like you had to do heats, and then once you've done the heats, then into the quarters and then semis. And I remember when you made the final, there was 2 finals. There was an A final and there was a B final. So the guys who were rubbish and the guys who were top of the class. And even though I'd made the A final and I came last in the A final, I made the A final. I made the category.
It was like making that step up to pro, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same with even a podium. You know, it's the start of something. You know, it rolls on. Even though it's a win or a podium in AM, it's then a snowball effect. You start with one little snowball and then it rolls into something a lot more because you have that confidence. You go, yeah, no, I can do this. You know, it is in me to produce the wins and the races that I can show that I can do.
Yeah. Indeed it is. Baraba looks like he's got his tyres back where he wants them because he started to pull away from O, and Future Events just starting to come back down towards O. 2 minutes 10 left in this race, and Albuquerque for me has got to pit this lap. He's got to pit now.
Yeah, I think in the practice sessions we don't know if he's actually been pitting. I can't remember if he has or hasn't been, but we'll see. He's going to have to pit this lap, and he's not. He's not.
So then, what a shame for John Andrews, because it could have been points for John Andrews. Albuquerque is not pitted. Now, you've got to be in the pit lane before the pit window shuts. I don't think he's going to do that.
No, he's not.
I think Albuquerque is going to throw away the chance of a top 5, if not a podium here. Oh, Future Revenge and Baraba just getting a little spaced out. John Andrews trying to unlap himself from Pokebark. So a little squabble here between these two, even though it's not for position. Tebby's back in and he's still going. You know, possibly an internet problem. We see that red connection part there. He's possibly had an internet problems, got back in, and he's just trying to get to the end.
Yeah, definitely scoring points to 8th place. He might, if anything happens to Albuquerque, he might score points there because obviously he is going to gain a penalty if he does not make it to the pit. And it's got to be a blistering lap time to make it into pit lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, a lot of us have known and played ACC now. We know the logistics and the rules of the game. I think Albuquerque might have just shot himself in the foot here.
Yeah, I think you're right. Future Revenge on the back once again of O. But again, this has kind of been Future Revenge's night. He's going to want to get rid of this for the season because it's kind of been I've got the pace to catch them, but I can't get past them kind of night, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think he just needs to trust his qualifying pace and, you know, go from there, because I think he needs to trust his qualifying pace, because right now he would be in P3 if he wasn't behind O. He would definitely be at least in the cleaner air. He might have jumped Baraba, as well and not been in this scrap. He possibly would be sitting in second place if he had qualified. There's the pit window is closed, and Albuquerque's continued going again, even though he was meant to pit.
He would have been in the pit lane. He would have been in the pit lane.
He would have made it, yeah. He would have made it in pit road, and he's chosen to keep going.
Yeah, to keep going. Another thing as well, Dan, you say that Future Events needs to commit to qualifying and just give it a go. You never know what can happen. Do you think he needs to sort of take that mentality into completing an overtake, just give it a go? Because we saw tonight he's got alongside Albuquerque, but seemed to always back out.
I think the qualifying is a bit different. You go out and do some laps, and it would be fine. Decided it would be a Lexus, says Kiss in the chat. So he likes the Lexus by the sounds of things. Regarding overtaking a car, that's a different story. It's you got to trust the car you're racing, and you've got to have that judgment. I think on your own you can make a mistake, run wide, and get away with it. If you hit another car, you lose more time. You lose possibly a chance to, score some decent points, or even gain points in the penalty system. So it's a little bit different in overtaking.
But at times, you've got to commit to the move, I suppose. And do you just have to say?
I was looking down the inside, but he thought about it. Sorry, I think it was Ted 4 there, the right-hander. He really got onto the back of Baraba then and literally threw it down the inside and backed out at the last minute. Baraba's struggling.
Baraba is struggling, and this is interesting to see now, as well as the fact that Future Revenge is now back on the rear of him. Pokemon 20 seconds behind. This is really give FPN the win now. Albuquerque will get I think it's 130-second time penalty for not pitting. So he'll probably drop all the way down to P6. So your top three will be Bentley, Ferrari as it stands at the moment. But Baraba really is struggling. And is he struggling on his tyres, I wonder? Is that the issue? Oh, now Albuquerque pits.
That's too late now. It's too late now. Yes, you may have done the pit stop, but it was not within the window. So Albuquerque, you kind of shot yourself in the foot there. It'd be interesting to see where he pans out, because that would determine where he would have finished.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting to see where it comes out indeed. So PN takes the lead of this race. Baraba, O and Future Event are all going to come flying through now. We saw Albuquerque was catching Pokemon in the first stint. So them three go through.
John Andrews is actually on the back of Pokemon.
He's been on the back of Pokemon for a while now. It's a shame John Andrews had a few incidents because he's right on the back of him with him. And look at this. These two both could do Albuquerque here as well. So what a shame for John Andrews that it's not to be today. And it's a shame. It's lucky for Albuquerque that he's more than two laps down on
and he has
John
to change
Andrews.
tyres.
Oh, he's not even... Oh, no. And he's cross-pit exit.
Ouch.
Yeah. When it rains.
I was about to say, when it rains, it pours.
When it rains. Don't get a lot of rain, I don't think, in Brazil. But it is today.
Such a shame. Such a shame. And this is why we ask the drivers to read the rules and regulations.
Thoroughly read the rules and regulations. Either way, back to the battle at the front for P2 and P3. O is on an absolute charge at the moment in terms of his battle with Baraba and Future Events.
He's actually lost some time here to Baraba.
It seems like it's ebbing and flowing, Dan, at the moment, because at one stage I will catch Baraba, the next time he'll fall into the clutches of Future Revenge.
In a minute he's going to be saying thank you mama for the carrots.
Yeah. Got a new saying for tomorrow.
Oh god. I hope it's nothing too themed.
Nah, not themed at all, really. Just thank your mama with another sort of food or beverage at the end of it.
Oh, God's sake. I know what's coming.
All depends on what happens tomorrow night. Either way, Owens really fell into the clutches of Future Revenge here. As down towards turn one, Future Revenge actually pulled out. He's having a big look on O, but doesn't make the move.
I have a feeling it's going to be either some form of pastry that's going to be involved, or possibly some form of singer.
Oh, I mean, the singer doesn't concern you, but I reckon both could come out.
There's a car facing the wrong way.
Yeah, that is... I thought it was Baraba because I didn't see him for a minute. So Tebby's had a moment. Look, it's track time for him. He's come back. It's track time, and it's 8th place points for him at the end of the day. Future Revenge right on the back of O now. We're into the final 7.5 minutes, and he is right on the back of O. Got to get it done sooner rather than later, thanks. Time's running out.
It is indeed, and I think Future Revenge, just stick a nose in there. Have a go.
Yeah. What's he going to lose in this race? 5-10 second penalty? Well, if he gets a 5 or 10 second penalty, 27 seconds out of Pokemon, so he's not going to lose anything other than the podium if he was to get it.
And even if he builds up the penalty points, he doesn't mind qualifying, so he won't have to worry about a qualifying ban.
It's not really going to hit him until he gets to 20 penalty points, is it?
No, exactly. So, go on, Future Revenge. Send her.
Yeah, I thought he was going to have a look there, but it looked like he closed the door on Future Revenge, and down the straight they come. Baraba seems to have got back into a groove here because he took 2 seconds out of PM Motorsport over the last lap. So he looks like he's got himself back in a groove. Albuquerque trying to hunt down Pokemon. John Andrews, by the way, has got past and cleared Pokemon. So it's a shame he's had damage in this race, because otherwise we could have seen possibly a top 5 for John Andrews in this one. Future Revenge just can't get closer to where he is. He's going to have a look now. Send her, bud. Down the inside, gets it stopped. Yeah, backs out of it.
He needs to start having a little bit more confidence in himself. He can do it. He can get the job done. He just needs to commit. The Bentley will do it. The Bentley will stop. Just trust it, Future Revenge.
Tebby back in the pits. That looks like it's possibly for damage related. Oh, yes, big time. So that's possibly when he had a moment. It'll be Phil Collins in the air tonight. Might be Phil Atherton in the air tomorrow night. That's the question. And here's one for both Dan and for Daz. Phil Collins did a Christmas song, Golden Slumber. I might have to Spotify that one tonight.
Oh, God.
As we all know as well, as we all know, it's in October. It's the countdown to Christmas.
No. We're in October. You know what that means? It's spooky season. So, we got to have a bit of thriller, you know?
You know what we mean tomorrow? It could be thank you mama for the Ginsters, or we could give you a thank you mama for the mince pies. You know what I mean?
No.
Thank you, Santa, for the mince pies. Thank you, Santa, for the mince pies.
In the chat, we've got 19 people currently watching. I think we need to start a poll. Do we agree that it's too early for Christmas, or is it just the right time? Ask now. I think Matt's genuinely putting the poll up, but I think if any of the British people are watching, I always say when it's the end of Children in Need, then it's Christmas. It's coming up to Christmas. But to Matt, he thinks it's August. You start celebrating.
Start celebrating Boxing Day. Get to Boxing Day, you know what that means, don't you? 365 days till Christmas.
Yeah, you and Tony send me that message every single year.
O's gone wide at turn 1, and Future Revenge is having a look through now. Cannot get it done.
Kiss, I'm winning him on now.
It's not the car that's important, so whether it's fast or slow, you have to feel comfortable. I've driven a Broom race in an Aston Martin. There are top drivers who will drive you into there, and it just cuts off. And then Dad said, "Dear God." So we got thank you, Mama, for the carrots. Thank you, Mama, for the pasties, the Ginsters pasties. Thank you, Santa, for the mince pies. And we got thank you, Phil Collins, for the music. There you go, Daz. Another one. PN struggling here. He's lost 3 seconds over the last 2 laps.
Yeah, but he's just going to hang in there.
Managing.
Yeah, he's just getting home. He's probably 3 corners ahead of Baraba. Baraba himself is still struggling, I think.
Dennis wants us to sing Jingle Bells.
He wants us to sing Jingle Bells.
Yeah.
Now? No. Maybe when it's in December, towards the end of the season, you might hear me sing it, but no. He's gone, what? A Future Revenge? Send it!
He just cannot.
You had the chance.
He just doesn't look like he's got the confidence to have a go.
Oh,
no, not close enough now. Right, 2 minutes 53 left. We've got 2 laps. The lap they're on, or the lap they're starting, and then 1 after, I imagine, left in this race. Tebby still in the pits with big damage. Albuquerque's gaining on Pokemon as well, so what a shame he's not done his pit stop properly in the right time, because he's got to try and get past PM Motorsport, past Pokemon. Future Revenge now has another look because O's gone wide. He just doesn't seem like he can commit, Dan.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's got the confidence to just, stick up the inside or just have a go. But either way, it's good to see that he's on the back of these cars and he's really giving them a hard time. But he just needs to trust himself in the car because the pace is there, the car is there. He just needs to start getting around cars.
He does indeed. And look, he gets close again. No, doesn't have a look. Doesn't have a look on O there once more. Oh, Dennis's girlfriend's watching, Dan. She wants you to sing.
I'm not singing. I don't care if his nan was watching. I'm not singing Christmas.
Future Revenge is having a look at the right-hand kink. He's up over the curve. He's now side by side with O. Does he get the move done? No, he doesn't. He once again backs out. O goes a little deep, though. Future Revenge gets a cutback. And again, just cannot get committed to it.
Right, okay, this is it. I will sing a Christmas song if Future Revenge gets past O.
We've got one lap to go, plus whatever these two have got left to do. Mike Matthews, Remembrance Sunday first, then Christmas. Leader is on the final lap. Piano has one lap till he can win his first ever SimPlay Motorsport race. Future Revenge has one lap to make dancing jingle bells. More input. We will only do the chorus.
This is
Dennis,
why we're the best duo, isn't it?
Exactly. We'll only do the chorus, Dennis. We don't want to get copyrighted. But this is why we're the best, Joe. Joe, you once got Joe singing Jingle Bells.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not going to sing it anyway.
Here goes Future. He's going to send one on the inside. Does he get it done? O's gone deep. Future, can he get the run out the corner? No, he can't. And once again has to settle for fourth place. Future Revenge just cannot seem to get this one done.
Pokemon's been caught by Albuquerque.
Yeah, disappointing that Albuquerque hasn't done his pit stop properly. He's going to look up the inside. And Albuquerque... Oh, they've made contact! Oh, they've both bounced off the wall and Albuquerque backwards at the moment. Oh, then, half a lap to go. We will cut to PM Motorsport very, very shortly. But so far, so good. If you're PM Motorsport.
And if you're me. So you don't have to
and
sing
if you're Dan, yeah.
Song.
Now he's having a look. Has he got a car ahead? I thought he did there. He doesn't now. Does he look to cut back underneath? Future Revenge just keeps getting the wrong side of O at the moment. He's running out of corners. Car 11 has had another moment. Is he slow waiting for PM to finish this race? Possibly so. Not the worst thing in the world. Oh, yes, so he's got to go again. But PM Motorsport, then, is going to come home to be a brand new winner of SimPlay Motorsport. It is PM who takes the race win in the Bentley. Great job from him. Baraba is going to come home for second place. A fantastic result there for Baraba. But what has happened backwards? Oh, has had a moment, and it is going to be a Bentley. It's going to... No way! It's going to be a Bentley 1, 2, 3, and it is Future Revenge who does get the podium. Oh, he's out of fuel, which means Pokemon will come home for a P4. Albuquerque will cross the line fifth, but will not get it because of that time penalty to his name, which means O should hang on to that P5. He's crawling. He is crawling. There comes Pokemon. He stops now. Here comes Pokemon. And here comes Albuquerque as well. It's going to be P5 for P4 for Pokemon. Albuquerque will finish P5 as he spins across the line.
Yeah, that's the spin across the line. I wonder if Tebby's going to be a fair man and give a push over the line.
Yeah, he's got some big damage on the front of that car, he has. Go on, Tebby, if you're listening. Push our... Oh, he's pitted. He's returned to pits.
Tebby's still on track?
No, O has.
Oh. Ah.
DJ Phil says, go for it, Dan. So while we wait for Tebby, go on, Dan, give us a chorus.
For God's sake, why did you run out of fuel? Oh, by the way, in the chat, already they're agreeing with me. It's too early for Christmas, so Yeah. Although I'm about to sing a Jingle Bell song.
It's never too early for Christmas, chat.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-man haunted sleigh. Hey.
Yes. Bit more enthusiasm, I reckon, next time.
It's not Christmas.
Either way, that is your race. PN Motorsport is a race winner for the first time here at SimPlay Motorsport. Hopefully he'll join us in the commentary box for a quick chat. He's got his first ever race win, and that is fantastic. But Dan, more importantly as well, it is a Bentley 1-2-3 on the podium, which means even though it's early doors and even though there's only been amateur and one race of amateur, your manufacturer's championship looks like this. Bentley are 48 points clear of Ferrari, with Nissan in third place, McLaren are fourth, with Audi fifth. And then it's Lexus, Porsche, Honda, Aston Martin, BMW, Lamborghini and Jaguar, who we haven't seen. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, though, PN Motorsport leads by 3 points because Baraba took pole position. Future Revenge is P3 on 27, with Pokemon in fourth, Owies fifth, with Albuquerque in sixth. John Andrew seventh, Tebby eighth, Dean Wasocki ninth, and Danlick 10th. We haven't seen Dean or Danlick this season. And we are joined now by PN Motorsport, who can, first of all, confirm, is it too early for Christmas?
Thank you, PN.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Nexus in the chat.
You got to share. You got to share a commentary box with me Thursday night. So you best be careful.
Nexus just said that. Wow, I can hear the passion in Dan's voice. He's got Britain's Got Talent. PN race win. It wasn't an easy race because you had to fight with Baraba and O, but it's your first ever race win. You obviously, you've had podiums in the past. You've had 4 of them. Obviously, Mexico springs to mind as one where you kind of lost it off the podium and possibly could have had a great result there. But this win has to make up for Mexico, surely.
Yeah, but I've got a question. What was a better highlight? We can't hear PN in the comms, so that's probably why. I was going to ask, actually, what was better, the F2 pole or this race win? Give us a sec. PN's just adjusting his mic, but I think it's got to be level pegging, surely. Don't worry, I'm waffling. And yeah, you just
what he said, Dan, was he said he can't believe it. It feels as good as the day Phil Collins released his first ever single.
Here we go. No, that's because I'm now on a PS5 and not PS4.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, Dan's question: this win or your F2 pole position?
This win. A win's a win. Pole is a pole.
Yeah, but you out-qualified. You out-qualified myself, Jamie, Keegs, Gary, Fury.
You all binned it.
You still took pole.
True.
PN, we know you're in as a reserve this season. Obviously, can't commit to the full season due to personal circumstances. But this win has to give you a lot of confidence in terms of if you do come back and compete in AM again, you can possibly fight at the front and get a couple more race wins.
Yeah, and it'll definitely be in the Bentley. Even though I love Ferraris, I love Aston. But all through pre-season of season 1, I was testing the Bentley.
Yeah.
To be fair, mate, you're kind of stuck in it now.
Yeah, you are, to be fair.
Yeah.
With the likes of Dean Wasocki and Danlick yet to make an appearance, do you think them two guys could maybe challenge you harder for the race win? With Baraba obviously making a couple of mistakes, or do you think that, you, Dean, Danlick, Baraba, O, Future Revenge, if he can, start to send them, are all going to be in this big fight?
Dean, I don't know. I really don't know, because when I raced him on Pro-Am, when I was in Pro-Am last season, I was beating him easily, apart from the odd time when I got put in a wall, but we gloss over that.
Well, either way...
Yeah, Danlick, well, he made the odd mistake last season as well, so when we were in the comms box and white lines.
Yeah.
On pit exit.
Well, either way, it's been a good race for yourself, PN. Race winner, and congratulations. Dan, final thoughts from you and driver of the day.
Well, even though we only had a, was it 8-man grid?
8-man grid, yeah.
Or 7, or whatever it was definitely entertaining. Congratulations, PN, on your race win. Well deserved, and finally on the top step of the podium, which is nice to see. Yeah, Kyalami once again introduces some great racing, and always does. Pro-Am tomorrow, where things could get interesting. Phil Collins might be enjoying singing, or Matt will enjoy eating a pasty. You don't know. Might be something else he might be celebrating. Who knows? Either way, it could be an interesting night's worth of racing tomorrow night. And yeah, I think future events, you need to start sending it more, mate. And next time, put fuel in the car so I don't have to sing a Christmas song again.
Driver of the day?
I'm going to go PN. I was going to say Future Revenge, but because he didn't quite commit, if he'd sent it on the last lap, maybe him. Yeah. But PN, obviously his first race win, he deserves it.
Yeah, indeed he does. I'm going to go PN as well. And yeah, fantastic night's worth of racing. We will be back live tomorrow night, 8 p.m. UK time. That's GMT +1 or BST at the moment. For the Pro-Am Series, myself and Benedict Varga Nexus will be in the commentary box for that one. Make sure you join us live for that. If you want to join Dan and PN Motorsport, they'll be live on Thursday night for the Pro Series, where myself will be on the grid as Ripper goes to try and defend his... As Ripper goes and defends his title for a second season in a row. I tried to say try, and I don't know why. But either way, that's all we have time for tonight. I'll be back in the commentary box, hopefully with Fury next week. He should be back with us, Joseph Bates, in the box to do some commentating. GT4s as well make their return Monday night. Myself and Big Boy Brazier, Jamie Brazier, will be back Monday night for that around the Temple of Speed at Monza. That's where the amateur drivers will be next week. Join us live next Tuesday for round 2 of their season. But from all of us at SimPlay Motorsport, take care, have a very good evening, and it's just remember this: it's 2 and a bit months till Christmas. Good night.
Good night.
Whoops.